Hi, and welcome to Tech Talk, the Banker's video series on everything fintech. I'm Joy Macknight, Technology Editor at The Banker, and in the studio with me is Freddy Kelly, founder of Credit Kudos, which uses consumer transaction data to build highly accurate credit scorecards. Thanks so much for joining us today, Freddy.
Not at all, thank you for having me.
Can you tell me a little bit about Credit Kudos and how it works?
Yeah, absolutely. So as you said, we are using transactional data to build credit scores for people. And the way we do that is we provide a process that allows lenders to connect into their borrower's bank account, collect the information they need, and to use that to make a credit decision. So a lot of people aren't familiar, but the way credit scores work today, they're quite a blunt instrument. They look at things like previous borrowing behaviour, where you live, whether you're registered on the electoral roll. And for a growing number of people, those measures don't really matter and they don't provide an accurate reflection. So what we're trying to do is provide a behavioural score based on how you spend your money day to day and allow lenders to use that.
Okay, and how important is financial inclusion, and how does Credit Kudos really help to sort of change that situation for financially excluded people?
Well, there's a huge problem of inclusion even in the UK. There's a great number of people that are considered underbanked or that are only able to access high-cost credit or payday loans and things like that. And one of the reasons for that is because they're thin-filed, or they don't have enough information at a credit bureau in order to make a decision. And what happens is lenders have to charge higher and higher interest rates in order to sort of combat the risk that they get from that. And being able to measure people in a more accurate way prevents that problem. So absolutely.
Okay, and that's obviously a big part of your business model, really.
Yeah. So we started off in sort of August of 2015, and what we were doing was working with some of the companies that serve those underbanked or excluded people. So credit unions has been a big market for us, and we provide a process that lets their customers provide their information on a one-time basis on top of a credit score, and using that, those companies are able to evaluate what these people earn, how they're spending their money, whether they're gambling it all away or whether they're saving regularly, and things that really matter to whether they're going to repay.
And so how does Credit Kudos, how does it differ from other credit scoring companies?
So there are a bunch of ways. Obviously the data that we use is different, it's more granular, it's more up to date. But the one that's really important is the transparency factor. So at the moment, credit bureaus operate in quite an opaque way. They're sort of these big kind of castles on the hill that people, they maybe know about, but they don't really understand how it works, or maybe they've paid for a service where they can see their credit score. But what we're trying to do is say that your credit score and your credit data belongs to you as a consumer. And so we're trying to build a sort of credit passport. So by building a credit passport, we enable people to shop around for credit and actually take their data with them, and as a result get the best interest rate and the best deal for that information.
So there's a big movement in the UK around the open banking initiative. How are you engaging in that?
So open banking came about from the Payment Services Directive, or Second Payment Service Directive, and basically is the standard that banks allow open access to banking data. And we've been participating a lot in the advisory group that's been set up by the CMA to steer that process. We've also been given the opportunity to kind of promote the cause for open banking. So a big part of what we do is sort of demonstrate the value that could bring pre-release, as it were. And in addition, we've also been trying to sort of wave the flag for fairness and helping those underbanked people that you mentioned. So there's a huge excitement around fintech and what open banking can bring to the table, but a lot of it is focused on the sort of the higher earning people and the folks that are already very up to date with their finances. And there's a lot of evidence that says people with good digital access but low financial capability could be the ones that benefit the most from open data. So we're trying to sort of provide a use case for that.
But what would you say are the biggest challenges to open banking and the application programming interfaces that allows that?
So I think in the early discussions, a lot of it was around this technicalities. Big banks have a lot of legacy systems. There's a lot of inertia there, and actually building the APIs has been a long process. But I think what's more important is the education piece. What we're asking consumers to do is overcome a huge trust barrier. The idea that I can share my financial data with another company is quite new, and it's scary for a lot of people. And there's a sort of disjoint between the big banks and the fintechs that are going to benefit in different ways, or maybe suffer from this initiative. So actually, how we present this to customers is really important. So I think education is huge.
Okay, great. Thanks so much for coming in, Freddie.
No, thank you very much.